So that's the case. So 300 Nepalese is equals to 90s, 1500, Indian. We were lucky enough as Sanjeeb always the band we started, everybody had having a Samick guitar. Samick Les Paul was a big thing. Our guitarist had a Samick Les Paul. We had a Zoom. If you have an Indian electric guitar, if you're a good guitarist, you can still come up with a good sound on that guitar. But given if you have like a Les Paul, it's going to be way better than the Indian guitar. If you have 10 guitars, but you don't have time to play it, what's the value of those? If you have like a Porsche or like a Ferrari, but you're driving back and forth from
just
your
work.
What's the use of that? So I've seen so many people who are making money. They think they're successful. It's a myth. Like they're doing paycheck to paycheck, like 99% paycheck to paycheck. They don't even have, like, if you ask them to come out with like $500, they don't have $500. That's the maximum.
Welcome to the Rock Show with ASM. I am so excited. One of the most respected Tamil musicians has joined us for an interview. He doesn't do this very often. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Sareen Deoja from Monkey Temple. Dai, thank you so much. Let's do the customary fist bump right there. Boom, right there. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you. June 9th, of course, Tangal.
Yes.
The show starts at 4 p.m.
And you're playing as well.
And we're opening the show. It's our pleasure. It's our honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ujjwal, big credit to you, my brother, for all this. 2019 versus now there is a slew of albums and rock and roll coming out, which is good. Scene ko lagi ekdam ramro. Mukti Dai is coming out. Sabin Dai has come out with an album. I hear the original duo is getting a friend album. How do you perceive Azako music scene, Dai? In Kathmandu, in Nepal, in general, especially when it comes to rock and roll?
I mean, it's changing, man. It's changing for good, I think. The way I see it is, back in the days when we were starting back in 1998, it was just a muse. It was like it's still a passion for me. More than passion, it's become like a lifestyle addiction for me now. But back in the days when we started, it was just Kathmandu matrai huन्थ्यो हैन अब गीत यो rock music scene भनौं कि कुनै पनि music scene भनौं न अब लोक गीतै गाउने मान्छेहरुलाई पनि काठमाडौँमै आएर रेकर्डिङ गर्नु पर्थ्यो हैन अब त्यो बेलामा इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर वाइज त खासै केही पनि थिएन ठमेलमा ब्लुज बज्थ्यो अनि अल्टरनेटिभ रक चाहिँ अन्डरग्राउन्ड थियो अल्टरनेटिभ रक हामी खास GA मा हामी गिगहरु खेल्थ्यो त्यसमा खास कभर पर्ल ज्याम कभर यो के रे अब भनौं न अब क्रीडहरु यस्तोहरु सबै इभन रेड हट चिली पेपर्स सबै अन्डरग्राउन्ड बट नाउ आफ्टर सो मेनी इयर्स धेरै चीजहरु चेन्ज भइसक्यो भनौं न लाइक अब देयर आर सो मेनी प्लेटफर्म्स हैन अब द इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर स्टेज लाइट साउन्ड प्लस एज एन आर्टिस्ट अहिले पनि रक स्टारडम इज अ मिथ इन माई ओपिनियन हैन I've said that many times in many who is still in Nepal, in India, of course Bollywood is like rock star, you know. तर यहाँ चाहिँ अब मैले देखेको if you're a well-known band, not an underground band or not a band which only plays inside Kathmandu, if you're a well-known band, your songs have been heard across the country, then अब चाहिँ युरोपको working musician को चाहिँ पे चाहिँ आइसक्यो. अब मान्छेहरुको लाइफस्टाइल त्यही अनुसार नेपालमा people have money to like $1,000. I mean, sorry, 1,000 rupees, $10, $10 to pay for the ticket to like any like commercially successful band, you know, and come watch the show. Back in the days, that was not the case. The main kura Nepali they are basically entertainment. You know, they love entertainment. Also because of the fact that India and China is, even though it's a small country. For example, I'll give you a very good example. India ma hamro the scene 1990s mai थियो. Bhane Parikrama, all these bands, Agni, college gigs haru. Tara Indians would pay, I'm not just saying, not in any Indians would pay like 100 IC or whatever to come watch the show, and there'd be like 5,000 Indians. So that's how the band would get paid, because they'll be like, because the population is huge. The Nepal is not the population. Nepalese, they love music. They come to the show. they even though they still don't want to pay their tickets, they'd spend in a venue, with beer or whatever, food, whatever. So that's the case. So 300 Nepalese is equals to 90s 1500 Indians. In my
estimation, probably.
That's just it could be in any country. I mean,
but the days that you're talking about is like Indiscreet. When they were coming up, when they
were coming up, yes,
yeah.
India got त्यसमा किनभने I also used to follow a little bit हुन्छ नि. And back in the days, Nepal was very अब त्यो बेलामा त नेपालमा एकदमै underground थियो हैन. There wasn't any scope, any hope. It was just like for muse and passion हुन्छ नि. तर अहिले because of different platforms, YouTube, like global media हुन्छ नि, social media networks, it's really booming हुन्छ नि. त्यसकारण अहिले चाहिँ अनि plus Nepalese, they're all NRNs, residing outside, everything. So I think this is going further, down the line, 10 years, 15 years down the line, is getting bigger, in my opinion, if the country doesn't have any, if we don't have any political problems.
Let's just jump into June 29th, हाम्रो album launch, Tangalwoodमा Azambari. हामी कुरा गरिरहेको थियौँ about the different music scene. You touched upon how अहिलेको music scene is sort of developing akin हाम्रो 90s को इन्डियाको music scene, त्यो rock scene जस्तै अलिकति develop भइरहेछ. When you speak about हाम्रो पूर्वको कुरा गर्यो अब हामीले suppose Eastern Nepal, which has come up as this big hub for live music, especially for dynamic music like rock and roll. हजुरको album पनि in Azambari there is a track called Purvatira.
Yes.
Talk me through the process of making that song and what inspired that.
Very simple. I know Purva, like you said, is a very welcoming place for rock musicians. I know they have a big craze for rock music. I know, like back in the 90s in Kathmandu. I know, with better infrastructure, like I said. I know. So we played a gig at this place called Chilchile, right between Damak and Damak र इटरीको बीचमा छ झिलझिली हैन. त्यो ठाउँमा अब it was a huge stage हैन. 10 बजे शो स्टार्ट थियो. अब काठमाडौँमा 10 बजे शो बन्द हुन्छ. अनि with all whatever you needed.
10 o'clock is when the show started.
Yeah, we started 10. त्यहाँ त राति हुन्छ किनभने it's like open हुन्छ नि. So त्यस्तो छ भनेपछि so अब यो पूर्वैतिर चाहिँ गीत हाम्रो यो नयाँ एल्बममा छ. अब यो गीत चाहिँ बेसिकली हाम्रो रोड ट्रिप को बारेमा र त्यहाँको एउटा वार्म वेलकम प्लस हामीलाई चाहिँ एउटा भित्रै मनदेखि चाहिँ त्यहाँ बजाउन एकदम रमाइलो लागेको थियो. त्यो पार्ट अफ द कन्ट्रीमा बजाउन रमाइलो लागेको कुरालाई नै राखेर चाहिँ हामीले एक्ज्याक्टली त्यही कुरालाई नै मैले चाहिँ लेखेर चाहिँ त्यो गीत चाहिँ बनाएको.
The album making experience, as you talked about, 2002 was तपाईँको first album when it came out. That compared to making an album now in 2019, there's a stark difference. Do you find it easier now to make music?
It's never easy, but it was difficult in 2002. It's still difficult in 2019.
What kind of challenges are you facing now?
So basically 2002 was like a garage-like album. We didn't have any infrastructure for music production.
Where did you record the first album?
BMI. That was the only place where we would say, okay, Iman Dai फर्किनु भएको थियो from States हुन्छ नि, where we would say like, ल त्यहाँ चाहिँ अलिकति rock music लाई फेरि अलिकति ल यहाँ चाहिँ ठिक हुन्छ. So अब अहिले चाहिँ we have कस्तो भने अब त्यो बेला र अहिले अब त्यो बेलामा हामीले अब हामीसितै पनि सामानहरु थिएन भनौं. काठमाडौँमा पनि सामान पाउँदैन थियो खासै. We never had deep music त अब कति कहिले आएको थियो deep 2004 3 4 हो कि 2 3 त्यही टाइम तिर deep they started deep music हैन. So we recorded even before that हुन्छ नि. So हुन्छ 98 मा त अब we had to go. अब एउटा ब्यान्डले एउटै गिटार स्टेजमा सर्कुलेट गर्थ्यो हुन्छ नि. अब स्टेजको कुरा अब we were lucky enough of St. Javier सबैजना साथीहरु थियो. The band we started, everybody had like having a Samick guitar. Samick Les Paul was a big thing. Our guitarist had a Samick Les Paul. We had a Zoom हुन्छ नि. अनि त्यसबाटै that was like one of the best stuffs we had back in the days हुन्छ नि. अनि त्यस्तो चीजहरु हामीसित हुनु भने कोही अरु त कमै हुन्थ्यो भन्न थियो. तर त्यस्तो हुनेहरु पनि थियो तर very limited हैन, very limited. So now we have like like a lot of things हुन्छ नि. Also YouTube and everything. Back in the days अब हुन्छ नि गीत भने अब if you had the access to cassette tapes or CDs त्यसपछि मात्रै हुन्थ्यो. No internet, nothing. त्यो हुन्छ नि धेरै चीजहरु थियो. तर अब as recording को कुरा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो च्यालेन्ज we're always learning. त्यो बेलामा पनि we were new to recording. We had never recorded. Iman Dai guided us. हुन्छ नि that was a good album in terms of त्यो टाइमको लागि हैन. अब तर looking at it now, it feels like garage to me हैन. तर now recording quality with softwares and everything with good technical हुन्छ नि मान्छेहरु पनि अहिले अब there are people who are really good engineers हुन्छ नि. So त्यो हिसाबमा राम्रो भइसक्यो हैन. र हुन्छ नि अब धेरै चीज अब भनौं न धेरै अब यो इन्टरनेटले पनि धेरै चीज मान्छेलाई सिकाइसक्यो. बेसिकली आई थिंक नेपालमा चाहिँ सफ्टवेयर्सले चाहिँ राम्रो रेभोल्युसन एउटा लिएर आइदिएको छ. अझै पनि हार्डवेयरै त एनालग सफ्ट स्टफहरु छैन. तर यो एल्बम चाहिँ we recorded all analog, nothing digital हैन. Before that we recorded 2 albums digitally गरेको थियो हैन. यसपालि हामीले all amp, we used Black Star for the head, Marshall cabinets हैन. त्यसपछि all pedals हुन्छ नि for guitar, everything, sub miking, everything हामीले चाहिँ सब analog गर्यो. र it's mixed by Sanjeeb Rai. र this is the first time we sent this album outside for mastering. So Peter Klett, one of my favorite bands from the 90s, Candlebox, big band, big band, multi-million-dollar. Candlebox. So he actually mastered our album and he really liked it. So he really liked our sound, and so that's one of the happiest things.
It's a highlight
for us, for me especially. Still Dave Cruzen from Pearl Jam tours with Candlebox still now as a drummer हैन. So अब कस्तो भने so it's good. अनि his perspective, so mastering, I didn't know mastering could be done that way, like what he's done for our album this time. And mastering मा पनि काट्दिएको छ के अब कति चीजहरु is kind of produce पनि गर्दिएको छ कति चीजहरु किनभने we do most of the things in the mixing हुन्छ नि. mastering मा पनि गरेछ. अब यो musicianहरुलाई नै थाहा हुने कुरा हो.
This is what you mean, right?
तर so yeah, basically there's a lot of things.
It's an experience.
Yeah, this album is sound wise पनि र सबै चीज wise हुन्छ नि, it's very wide. किनभने अब जति सुकै सफ्टवेयर गरेर जति राम्रो कान भए पनि just an example हैन. अब some people हुन्छ नि they have like good ears, of course हुन्छ नि, like a musician has to have good ear हैन. तर अब के छ, अब if you have like a let's for example say an Indian guitar, I'm not saying it's bad हुन्छ नि. If you have an Indian electric guitar, if you're a good guitarist, you can still come up with a good sound on that guitar. But given if you have like a Les Paul, it's going to be way better than the Indian guitar. I'm not saying you're going to sound shitty on the Indian guitar. If you're a good guitarist,
this is a good quality. Yeah.
So basically just like that. So मैले भन्नु खोजेको चाहिँ के हो भने back in the days we didn't have enough infrastructure. But given the infrastructure, you know, I think we have a pretty good sound, and also because of the analog thing, हुन्छ नि, it's become very wide हुन्छ नि. र अब digital is good, digital is good, but then we've done last album with Songai Bazuna and everything, it's digital हुन्छ नि. तर there's nothing as good as analog in my opinion. Nothing as wide as you can't get that wideness,
that feel.
Plus अझै पनि अब मेरो मलाई अझै पनि lacking चाहिँ अझै अब अझै पनि नेपालमा चाहिँ अब rock music गर्न स्टुडियोहरुको अब यो अब room के अब next album if I do next album I'm gonna यो पाली we went all analog, we actually upgraded one step. Next time I'm also gonna have I'm also gonna want to have कस्तो भने अलि अब drum recording like अलि high ceiling हुन्छ नि, big space. So that everything
then you're really getting into the nitty-gritties. Yeah. Let's rewind the clock अलिकति. हजुरको education, a part of your life also existed in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Right? It's a mythical place for us now.
Mythical? Why?
Because we remember Topeko त्यति बेला चाहिँ when YouTube was starting, there were videos and music that would pop up of like Sirius Dai when he was there in St. Cloud as well. How much did staying in the US, especially in Minnesota, Topeko music taste, influence, जुन तपाईले कुरा गर्नु भएको जुन knowledge about music कसरी produce हुन्छ, how do you record it, how much did that get influenced with your stay in the US?
In the US, Minnesota doesn't have anything to do with my music at all. Basically, that's honestly. Because Minnesota, I was very busy with the college and work. काम गर्नु पर्थ्यो होइन एन्ड यु हेड टु गो टु कलेज आई हेड नो टाइम फर म्युजिक आई वाज भेरी त्यहाँ त मलाई त आई वाज इन अ केज जस्तो लाग्थ्यो क्या So Minnesota doesn't have anything to do with my music. Actually, America जानुभन्दा अगाडि नै we had the album out, the first album, and then I left for America thinking that okay, like हुन्छ नि त्यो बेलामा कुनै scope, hope केही थिएन. So it was just like a passion and हुन्छ नि let's come out with one album हुन्छ नि and let's part our ways भन्ने थियो होइन. I never thought I would come back and restart Monkey Temple हुन्छ नि. So Minnesota doesn't have anything to do with my music हुन्छ नि. But America as a whole, actually, experience-wise, मैले musicै गरेर experience पाएको होइन कि like different shows. I went to different shows. I met different people. I kind of हुन्छ नि American perspective हुन्छ नि. So for example, let's say I used to listen to Ugly Kid Joe when I was here हुन्छ नि. अब गीतमा Mickey's भन्थे. I was like, what's Mickey's man? त्यहाँ गएपछि चाहिँ okay Mickey's it's like a bottle of beer हुन्छ नि. It's brand Mickey's भन्ने एउटा brand छ होइन. So basically मलाई धेरै कुरा सिकायो in that way, not musically त्यो कुरा त्यो वेबाट चाहिँ मलाई धेरै चिजहरू सिकायो भन्नु पर्यो. अब म्युजिक त I used to listen to like a lot of songs यहाँ नै सुन्थेँ मैले before I went to stage, a Camel Box, everything. I listened to it before I left for States हुन्छ नि. So त्यो कुरालाई चाहिँ I'm fortunate enough.
You never thought you were going to come back?
No, I thought I would come back, but होइन when you leave त्यो बेलामा नेपाल छोड्दाखेरि धेरै मान्छेको चाहिँ कस्तो पर्सपेक्टिभ हुन्थ्यो भने okay I'm going to go, maybe I'm going to find a job हुन्छ नि I'm going to graduate from college, settle down there भन्ने हुन्थ्यो. कति सेटल भयो कति अब that was not the place for me. हुन्छ नि I love States, it has taught me a lot of things हुन्छ नि America हुन्छ नि the hardships of life हुन्छ नि. तर at the same time मलाई चाहिँ त्यहाँको like weather plus lifestyle, I love the music हुन्छ rock and roll, blues, hands down, jazz, everything came from States हुन्छ नि. But lifestyle and everything मेरोलाई चाहिँ त्यति मलाई चाहिँ त्यति अब कतिमा I'm just talking about myself हुन्छ नि my own perspective. मैले कसैलाई पनि एउटा यो चाहिँ general कुरा गरेँ होइन. So मलाई चाहिँ त्यति चाहिँ societal ways मा चाहिँ त्यति मलाई चाहिँ I don't think that's the place for me चाहिँ मेरो लागि होइन. But मलाई चाहिँ later on I had a chance to go to Europe. I liked Europe better हुन्छ नि. So America is a great country man, but for me I felt like I was trapped in a paycheck lifestyle, which is not for me man. And I'm not from there either हुन्छ नि. I was born in Nepal, so this is my country हुन्छ नि. And it doesn't matter how hard I try to be American, I can't be American. My music has Western influences, but I sing in Nepali हुन्छ नि. तर अब I have to be born there to be an American.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, again, that it's a building block, and that experience in your life as well. Sunday, we've talked about so much. I think you've educated the masses on a lot of things today.
I don't educate. No, I'm just sharing my perspective.
And you have. Well,
I'm not an educator. I'm an entertainer.
But you have taught by example. You have taught by example.
I'm just blabbering about my experiences. But yeah, if people if they want to take something from it, of course they are welcome to.
Of course, but, you are one of the success stories that came back to Nepal. You are one of the people who came back.
There are a lot of people who have come back now. And yeah, you came back. I want to say something. So, there was one person who told me, I'll never forget that, if you're never successful in America, you're never successful anywhere. I thought about it back in the days. I thought about it back in the days. Now I think it's utter bullshit. Success भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ मलाई एउटा कस्तो पनि लाग्यो भने अब आएर अबको लाइफ अब यो हुन्छ नि I have crossed my 35 as well हुन्छ नि. So अब मलाई चाहिँ कस्तो लाग्यो भने I'm in between 35 and 40 हैन. So basically success is about happiness के. If you're happy हुन्छ नि you're successful. Doesn't matter हुन्छ नि how much money you have, doesn't matter like who you are हुन्छ नि if you're not happy it's not worth it. So America, I've seen so many people who are making money हुन्छ नि तर कस्तो भने they think they're successful okay? It's a myth हुन्छ नि तर कस्तो भने like they're doing paycheck to paycheck like 99% paycheck to paycheck हो है. They don't even have like if you ask them to come out with like $500 they don't have $500 त्यस्तो चाहिँ maximum हैन. तर at the same time all credit cards है at the same time त्यो कुरा त छुट्टै भयो लेट्स नट आइम सरी आई टक्ड अबाउट द्याट त्यो कुरा छुट्टै भयो तर मैले भन्नु खोजेको इफ युआर नट ह्याप्पी हुन्छ नि इफ युर लाइक लाइफ इज लाइक अ स्ट्रगल के टु किप अप विथ वाट एभर यु हेभ सो मच बट यु डोन्ट हेभ टाइम टु युज इट तिमीसित 10वटा गिटार छ बट यु डोन्ट हेभ टाइम टु प्ले इट वाट्स द भ्याल्यू अफ दोज इफ यु हेभ लाइक अ पोर्स or like a Ferrari but you're driving back and forth from
just
your
to work
what's the use of that so that's so success is basically there are people हुन्छ नि गाउँमै पनि बसेर मजाले खेतीपाती स्वच्छ हावा हुन्छ नि मजाले तर त्यो पनि सक्सेस हो that's a healthy life हुन्छ नि त्यो तिमीले भने junk food that's not हुन्छ नि but people slowly cut down junk food later on in their life हुन्छ नि but anyways so that's that हुन्छ नि so त्यो मैले भन्नु खोजेको चाहिँ only about happiness
that whole thing about attaching wealth and success with happiness
किन मरेर लानु केही छैन like हुन्छ नि like you don't go
and the older you get the more you realize it's the truth talking about Ajambari, the album, all of this experience that you're talking about that has brought you up to this point. Monkey Tempo, one of the most sought after band, Amar Nepal ko, all the support that you've gotten from Purba to Paschim, everywhere that you've been.
Finally.
Well, you've always had it.
After 20 years.
You were not here to experience it. I was here.
After 20 years, it was a long struggle, man. Finally, yeah.
At the we have this. Well, you much deserved that. Much deserved, of course. We have this ritual on the show where we give you the floor and we give you that camera where you can talk directly to the people. And this is that part of the show. So please, the floor is yours. I know a lot of fans will be watching and have been waiting to hear from you to come and say something. So the floor is yours. You can address the fans right there. Just go for it.
Yeah, basically, without you guys, तपाईहरु नभइदिएको भए अब हामी नै हुँदैन थियौं. So हामीलाई हाम्रो गीतहरु सुनिदिनु भएकोमा र मन पराइदिनु भएकोमा धन्यवाद र like I said again if तपाईहरु नभइदिनु भएको भए हामी पनि हुँदैन थियौं.
Fantastic. Wow, that was like a poet right there. Thank you, Dai. Thank you so much. This has been a trip. I look forward to June 29. Tangal ASM is opening for, of course, Monkey Temple. Ajambari is the name of the album. Do buy it, do support it, and we'll see you at June 29th at Tangal.
Yeah,
I guess that. Thank you so much for coming out and doing this. Thank you very much. That's the Rock Show. Next time, Orko Naya guest, Orko Naya story. We're gonna do it for today. From Sareen Deoja and ASM. Thank you and see you later.
Bye bye.